What's good, ladies and gentlemen? How y'all doing? If you're looking for another piece of Star Wars media that is a little hidden in the rough, I would highly recommend Star Wars Tales of the Jedi. Now, this is a series that I truly loved. It was super good, and its biggest problem is that it is ridiculously short. Now, if you're a fan of the Clone Wars, like I was, I think that the Clone Wars, it was honestly the Star Wars media that I grew up on. You know, it was the show that I grew up on from when I was a kid, you know, because it's been going on so long. I started watching it when I was a kid, and when I'm an adult, I still love going back and watching those episodes. I was still super excited when they released the final unreleased season, you know, those couple episodes. Amazing. Ahsoka and Anakin are some of my favorite characters in all of Star Wars, and the biggest reason is obviously because of the Clone Wars. I mean, obviously we know Anakin from the main series, from the main movies, but the Clone Wars truly flushed out his character, truly brought more detail into who he was and what kind of led him to go into the dark side, to fall to the dark side. You kind of see more and more and kind of understand more and more. That's why Anakin fell. You know, like you know who Anakin is, his personality, and all of that is just shown in the Clone Wars right alongside with Ahsoka. And Ahsoka was one of the best characters that they have made, hands down. And now I'm saying this because if you are a fan of the Clone Wars and you already watched that final season, you already watched all the extra content that you think you could get your hands on, well, there's just a tad bit more that is out there. If you have not watched Tales of the Jedi, I strongly recommend you check this out. It is seriously one of my favorite little short series. It only consists of 6 episodes, unfortunately, and each one is 10 to 12 minutes. You could watch this in under an hour. I'm telling you, it'll take you no more than an hour to watch the entirety of this series. That is its biggest flaw. Now, I truly hope that they do bring this back. I hope that they do add more short little stories. The biggest point of focus in Tales of the Jedi is Ahsoka and Count Dooku. Now, I am always down for more Ahsoka content, you know, and right now we got the Ahsoka show going on, so if you want even more Ahsoka and animated Ahsoka, then check out Tales of the Jedi. It goes a little bit into her origin story, you know, when she was a little baby, and then a little bit more into her training with Anakin, and just a tad bit on where she went and what happened after Order 66. And you know I love that Ahsoka content, but something that we see even less of is Count Dooku. And I really liked the few episodes that consisted of Count Dooku's little story of his fall and how he fell from the Jedi Council, how he became disheartened with them, and how he, you know, just fell to the dark side. Seeing his story from Jedi Master to Sith, it is awesome. And it is very well done how they do it. You know, everybody who is a big Star Wars fan, you know, knows that Count Dooku was a Jedi. He fell into the dark side. But it's very cool to be able to finally see it, and in a format that we all know and love, which is that Clone Wars animation, and, you know, in that same universe, of course. But I do know that Dooku's story, Count Dooku's story, is a little less known, and if you're not fully immersed in Star Wars, if you're not like a mega fan who knows everything and everything that's happened, I highly recommend, again, watching Tales of the Jedi, because it gives you a quick rundown of Dooku's story, of how he went from Jedi Master into a Sith. Some people might have not even known he was a Jedi Master before. So it's very cool, very concise, and quick way to just catch up on the Star Wars lore, if you will, you know? If you watch the Clone Wars and you have not watched Tales of the Jedi, what's going on? Well, come on, ain't no way, bro. You got to get on this. I'm telling you, you could watch it in an hour. So it's not that big of a commitment, all right? I know sometimes we struggle out here. I know I can't watch shows because they're too long and it's too much of a commitment. It takes too long, all right? I know, okay? But it's literally an hour of total content. You could watch one episode. It's 10 to 12 minutes. You know what I'm saying? So if you are a fan of the Clone Wars, I'm not even recommending it. I'm saying it's must. All right, you got to watch Tales of the Jedi if you like Clone Wars. Very enjoyable series, very well animated. I mean, you know, when we saw season 7 or the final season of the Clone Wars, you could see that animation style, that animation budget went up a little bit, you know? And it's the exact same here in Tales of the Jedi. Very cool, epic animation. You know, it feels like you're watching that action anime. Like, it's really cool, especially one of the last scenes with Ahsoka I don't want to spoil it if you haven't watched it, but it honestly has been out for a long time. How have you not watched it? You lucky I'm being nice and not spoiling it. But there's some really cool animations that they do. It's just clean. It seems like higher level cinema animation, you know, and it's very cool to see if you go back to season 1 of the Clone Wars to where we are now, because I would count Tales of the Jedi just as, you know, more Clone Wars story, basically. It's very cool to see the animation just improve over time drastically. Now, not only is that animation fire, it's great, it's awesome, but in order to truly hit you right in the feels, in order to truly make you feel them tingles that you feel when you watching an epic show or an epic moment, they have the most legendary tier music that you will hear. Nothing but classic Star Wars orchestra that just gets those goosebumps running. I'm telling you, there's an awesome... The last episode is really cool, okay? That's all I'm gonna say. But the music that they have throughout the series is top tier, and honestly, some of the best Star Wars soundtrack that I've heard in maybe any animated series or any Star Wars. It's up there with the best. Like, I just truly love that music. It really hit the notes perfectly and really completed the scenes that they were going for and really tied in that emotion to make it feel like, dang, this is a hype moment, this is a sad moment. They did a very good job. Overall, ladies and gentlemen, Star Wars Tales of the Jedi is a very well-made show. Now, like I said, the biggest problem is sadly that it is only about an hour of content, but honestly, quality over quantity, am I right? Tales of the Jedi is really a show for any Star Wars fan. If you're a light Star Wars fan who just wants a little bit of extra icing on top of the cake, just to know a little bit more, and if you're a hardcore diehard Star Wars fan, well, of course you're gonna want to watch it because it gives you additional content and additional little lore tidbits to either learn or to confirm. And you know how diehard Star Wars fans are. We're gonna be like, oh yeah, yep, that's right, that's how it is. Yep, that's how it was. That's true. Oh, that's cool. You know what I'm saying? So it's honestly a show that anybody could watch. If you're a Star Wars fan, you're gonna like Tales of the Jedi. I wish it was just longer. I know I've said that so many times, but I just wish it was a little longer. Hopefully they drop a season 2, drop a couple more stories, because this is honestly one of my favorite animation styles. It's just clean, concise, and it's just, I guess, what I grew up on, so it's what I'm used to. But it's a good show, y'all. It's a good show. Ladies and gentlemen, I appreciate y'all being here. Thank you so very much for watching. If you're a fan of all things Star Wars, Call of Duty, video games, and anime, please do consider subscribing. Follow me on Twitch down below. All those links gonna be down in the description. I appreciate y'all for being here, and until next time, I'll see ya.